What's up, you guys? This is Robert at Shy Bears Plus. That one didn't knock you over. Make sure you follow me on Twitter at Shy Bears Plus and on Instagram at Shy Bears Plus. I am in the Shy Bears Plus studio right now, having a great time, all pumped up because it's a Bears Victory Monday. Along with me is at @plus_shy. That is Jeff. He is brought to us via the net, just the net. That's what we're calling it.
Yeah, brought to you by Jeff's Best Bets. 10-1 in the last 2 weeks.
Jeff's Best Bets are so hot right now. They're so hot right now. The Bears are so hot right now, right? Week 9, post-game show. Bears 41, Bills 9. Guys, you have to watch these shows every week because we're just so dead on. Like, I'm not even just being cocky. It just, it is what it is. And then Jeff's Best Bets, like on top of it, there's really no reason not to smack the bell or hit subscribe so you don't miss any content. I mean, oh wow, do it like that. Everyone, if you could do it like that and not break your screen, that'd be great. Great job, everybody. But you hear it all first, all the predictions. You get them here at Shy Bears Plus. So, what did we get right? What did we get wrong? In my what to watch fors, QB for the Bills, I said it didn't matter, and it didn't matter. Whoever it was going to be, they weren't going to be prepared, and they weren't going to be ready for this Bears defense. No Mack or no A-Rob, no problem. Got it handled. No big deal. Bills Mafia. Now, I thought they could be a problem. I didn't see anybody go through any tables during the game, but there were some false starts. I saw Mitch in the headset trying to get the play in a couple times. I mean, it was loud. I mean, I can't say for a fact that Leno's 3 false starts were because of that. I mean, they do have a good defensive line that maybe got in his head a little bit, but it probably didn't help. Just something that I had noticed. And that's all that I had for my what to watch for is actually.
Yeah.
Because I keep it short.
Narrowed it down a little bit in pre-show the other day. But my what to watch for was the Bears offensive line and how they would react with their first game without Kyle Long and a stout front seven of Buffalo. And they did an adequate job. We only gave up 1 sack on the game, kept Mitch upright, and we won 41 to whatever the hell. So good to be able to rest A.R. and Khalil Mack there for 2 weeks and get 2 victories. I think we had a plus 56 in those 2 weeks. We are second in the NFC in plus minus margin at like plus 86, I believe. LA Rams are number 1. And then like kind of what Vic Fangio was going to do with the national media. A lot of national media was talking about man to coverage. Bears played a lot of man coverage, probably the most man coverage we've seen this year, and they did well. They did very well with that. So, and the special teams played pretty well. We still haven't missed an extra point. We didn't give up any plays there, which was essential going up against a lackluster Buffalo Bills team.
Yeah, I did have a stat of the week, my favorite stat. I'm just going to throw it out there because I did write it down. I noticed the 4-to-1 turnover ratio. Do you know where we sit on that for the year on turnover ratio? Because we had 4 takeaways. 3 picks and a fumble, and I mean that was pretty huge. I'm pretty sure that might have been one of your Shy Bears pluses, but did want to throw it out there. Thought it was dope. Did I mention the Bears are in first place? Like, did I mention it? Because I feel like I forgot to mention it. And
on the other side of the halfway point, yep.
And I feel like I want to mention it 14 more times. Anyway, my Shy Bears victory pluses was run the ball again. they only ran the ball 22 times for 64 yards. I think they only had 47 plays total. But, I mean, it's not – I was wrong. I thought that we really need to establish a run against this team and get long, sustained drives. But turns out our defense scores like 14 points a game, so who cares? It didn't matter anyway. And getting straight field position and. So, I guess it didn't matter. But I'm going to talk a little bit later, but I am just a little bit torn on the run game on how I feel about things. But anyway, Stop Shady, 29 total yards. No Shady McCoy, not getting loose. I thought he might get loose once or twice, but we reeled him in. And I was wrong on another thing. We'll get into that later too. How about that? Schreiber Richards pluses. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I knew that we were going to win. How about that? And I was pretty darn sure about it. All right, what were your Bears victory pluses that you wanted to call out for yourself?
Yeah, 0 turnovers. We only had 2 actually. The forced fumble, which Buffalo led the league in going into the game of 14 forced fumbles. We got that one back, but Mitch did throw a pretty errant pass, overshot his receiver, and threw a pick there. But we did protect him much improved. And that's good that he only had 135 yards passing. I like winning games when he doesn't have to throw for 300, 350 yards. We don't have to have 70, 60, plays around there. Keep us in the 40, 50 plays per game. Good man coverage. We did that plus. And then a team victory. Mitchell said it. Danny Trevathan said it. This was a team victory. Bears victory plus. Boom.
Lauren Cox tweeted out that Trubisky versus the Bills under pressure had a rating of 131.2, and when he was kept clean, it was 30.9. But under pressure, Trubisky got it done. You're just talking about the line getting it done. Something that, the kid just finds a way sometimes to make some things happen. And, that ball got on the ground. Man, the way they were stripping at the ball, it kind of reminded me of some Lovie Smith defenses. I'll be honest. I was like, man, these guys are really going after it, especially early on in that play. I just felt like that ball was coming out as he was running towards us on the screen. I'm like, oh no, they're gonna get it, they're gonna get it. That could have been bad, but anyway, thanks for all that, man. We are gonna do our Bills victory pluses. I said the Bills will not win because I didn't think they were going to win. I mean, I wasn't as sure as you were, but I was pretty darn sure of it. But I thought that they should try to run the ball. I felt like they did, but the Bears' interior line was so darn stout. I'm going to call out a couple of dudes later on, but unbelievable. I thought that they would throw the kitchen sink a little bit more. Maybe they didn't have enough time to practice with and know who was going to be playing quarterback, but we saw a little bit of wildcat. We saw some reverse action, but we didn't really see the reverses. I thought that we'd see a little bit more trickery, maybe because the game got out of hand in the second quarter. And maybe it was just kind of like, why get into all that? Why make it worse? If it goes bad, it could get really, really bad. But if it was close, I thought that they would try to do something to try to win this game, knowing that they were outclassed a little bit. And I thought they needed to spy Mitchell and do a really good job of harnessing him on the run. And they did a pretty good job of it. I think he only had 6 yards rushing. And a lot of that was on that read option play down on the goal line that set up the Jordan Howard score, which was pretty nifty with his feet. Man, this kid has the potential to be really, 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 really good someday. But I do like seeing some of the progress. You did mention that a ball did get away on him. I was listening to the presser after the game, and he said it literally just got away from him, that interception. And that was it. There was nothing else to it. And that happens. You wish it wouldn't. But it did. But that's what I had for my good job, pat on the back for my Bills victory pluses.
Okay, Jeff Reed's Bills victory pluses was hope for a blizzard. We didn't get it. Okay, the weather was pretty mild. Wasn't quite windy. The Bills needed to sign some free agents by name of Jim Kelly and any other legend.
Dermot Thomas coming through that door.
Gone era. So that didn't happen. And the Bills needed to call the NFL and boycott. And they obviously didn't do that. So all those things didn't happen, and that's why Buffalo didn't win.
Don Beebe didn't come through that door. But someone named Beebe did get signed off the practice squad. Someone wants to let me know who that was in the comments this week. I did see that he got in there. I feel like it might have been the Minnesota Vikings as well. I don't know if that's relation or not. Shame on me. What a bad Shy Bears Plus. Bad, bad, bad. How did we do on predictions, everybody? That's what everyone came here to see. Predictions. My Shy Bears Plus prediction was 27-6. It came in at 41-9. Pretty close on the Bill score. And I did not give this Bears. I wasn't expecting the 14 points of the defense, to be honest. So that's probably where it kind of came in. And I didn't get a missed kick from special teams, so I was a little bit wrong on that. We are the most accountable YouTube channel on the interwebs. How'd you come in with your score?
Yeah, my prediction before the game was 82 to -7 in favor of the Dickas, and 41 points halfway to 82. Defense didn't play as stout as I wanted it to, coming up with the -7, but they came up with the victory. And
Shame. All right, this is a time where we like to get into our hot takes. Flaming hot, crispy, the takes, the best on the internet. I'm going to go with a couple of good. I'm going to kind of mix it up a little bit. If you want to back me up with some of your goods, and then I'm going to do some bads. I feel like we're always just kind of very unorganized in this segment, but we'll find something that sticks eventually, and we'll really start to like it. So, Shy Bears Plus, Robert here. Some of my goods was, it was really good to see Howard with some strong runs, not just the 2 touchdowns, but he looked like a strong, confident runner and really running behind his pads and made some tough runs. He got tackled for a loss a couple times, but that wasn't his fault. But I really felt like he was very dominant in this game with the lack of touches. Defense, obviously, dominant. Without Mack, still 3 interceptions, 4 sacks, a fumble and recovery. It looked like they gave Roquan the tackle and the fumble on that fumble recovery, and I think they changed that today. I think I saw that in the pregame here. I did see that. The Bears PR team did tweet that out. So, stat correction on that. You talked about it earlier. Vic manned up, and we've been calling for it on this show for a while. When you have a team that you can man up with and maybe bring one, maybe not even get crazy. I'm not about house blitzing for no reason, but if you can man up on them. And he did that. And then I thought he was going to come back in the second half and play a weak zone, and he didn't. Maybe for a series a little bit, but he was still manning up and still bringing 1 or 2. I love to see it because make them beat you when they can't beat you one-on-one at the wide receiver position. Never pretend to be weak when you're strong. Danny T and Roquan Smith, 12 and 13 tackles. They were flying around. Roquan Smith, he had some trouble in the passing game getting targeted and getting catches, but running around and just getting tackles and playing fast, holy cow, this kid's going to get it eventually, and I think we're going to have something special here. And the Roquan Smith hit on Ivory was awesome, and it sucks that he had to go to the hospital for it, but I tweeted it out numerous times, took a video, clipped the video, made a video off my TV, tried to get it out there for the masses, and it was great. Yes. Goldman, Hicks, and Bullard were disruptive, especially my boy Eddie Goldman up the middle. Unbelievable on the goods. And Floyd had the pick 6. You love to see it. The kid's been struggling. People have been calling his name. We've been wondering if we should throw a label on a guy, the B word. I don't know. I saw him getting some pressures. I saw him stuffing some run. And then, good things happen. He was around the ball. I'd like to see him get home on some sacks. But, anyway, those were my goods for the week. And then you do your goods, we'll do some bads, and any other final thoughts. But let me hear what your goods were if you had them. Sorry I didn't let you know ahead of time that I'm kind of changing it up, but I want to see them more organized.
Just really like the entire defensive line and Eddie Goldman was really good.
Oh, yeah.
I thought great to see him be there. I did really think that number 94 was all over the place this game. 58, you said he had a difficult time in coverage. Well, yeah, that was one time, and he was manned up on like a tight end hybrid on a real crossing route. Nobody's really going to stay on that.
Right.
So he did run him down and tackle him from behind, which was impressive. Trevathan, who made that stick at the goal line. And that was one of the probably most amazing tackles that I ever seen that, Ivory went up, and then Trevathan stayed down until it was perfect time, and he just leaped up. And I saw some video this year in practice in training camp where they had these huge donuts, like these like 7-foot foam donuts with a big hole in the middle, and they roll them, and then they go up there and they hit, and they put their arm through the hole of the donut, and that's exactly what it looked like. And he waited, and he just jumped, and he put a shoulder pad, and if you're gonna break an NFL player's whatever, that's got to be a pretty big hit. And if you think about it, it wasn't like Trevathan had a long head start to make that hit.
Right.
He just leapt up and just laid the wood. So awesome.
Can I jump in real quick?
No, you can't. Start
Yes.
Going on 47. Starting to see some of these later round 2018 draft picks starting to play, especially with Mack seated here. So we're going there. Go ahead, jump in. What do you got for us?
Yeah, with the Roquan Smith stuff, Lauren Cox tweeted out that he had 11 targets and 11 catches against them for 100 yards, and there's 75 of those yards were after the catch, so they were in the short stuff underneath. So, I mean, I didn't count it all out. I don't know. I didn't notice it as the game was going on, so...
Lauren Cox. Right.
And Danny T did stonewall that dude. It was unbelievable. Sorry, go ahead.
All right, yeah, that's all I have was good. I thought Vic Fangio played a real aggressive game, and I love to see the man coverage. We saw more blitzing here. I still think his blitzes are pretty generic. A lot of just arrow blitzes or A-gap blitzes with 58 or 59. Maybe a little stunt here and there, but when you have talent the way he does, he really relies on his talent, stays back, doesn't get beat, and he's got the dogs.
Yep, and he still went to Club Dubs, so who cares, right? Yeah. Bad. Had some bad. Deion Sims, saw him look like a turnstile on several plays, even on running plays, and it makes you mad. It makes you sick sometimes. And then I saw him going to concussion protocol, so I'm sorry about that, kid. I'd hate to see anybody get their head knocked up a little bit, but still, very bad blocking. And numerous times on the screen where I had to go and put him down for a negative here in my notes. And Michael Burton, it seems as though when he's in the backfield, he has no idea what he's doing as far as blocking-wise. It's like he doesn't look at the defense and try to predict what's going to happen and pick out his guy. He gets there, he kind of looks around or whatever. And I know a lot of people on Twitter are critical of him, but it was just another time where he gets back in, and it was atrocious, man. And then just, it always seemed pretty simple when I was playing. You're going to block, you go somewhere to block, and then there's another guy with a different color jersey, and a guy with your color jersey wasn't in front of him. Sometimes you got to put a hat on him. And it's, and then he doesn't, and then he goes and spins around in circles. It's pretty amazing. I don't feel like I'm exaggerating. Lynch, apparently, three thrusts will get you 15 yards. You can't do it. No one's worth 15, but, I'm asking you, do you feel like it was that bad with the thrusting celebration? I feel like...
Yeah, instant.
Okay.
Instant.
The
moment he did it, I knew it was a flag. It was stupid. It was just... It was comical. It was almost from a movie.
Yeah, I didn't know how to feel about it. I was yeah. I knew they were going to throw the flag, too. I saw it, and I'm like, I wasn't... I feel like you could do a lot more things. There's a lot more things that are done in a more taunting manner to people, straight to them. I can't believe it's not unsportsmanlike. He was just having a little fun, but I don't know if there's a specific rule where you're not supposed to do provocative things. But who knows? I don't know. Still got 15, and that was a really bad one too. It was a huge takeaway in a bad situation, and it ended up leading to a touchdown, if I remember correctly. Or no, a field goal. No, touchdown. 6. They went for 2 and didn't get it. Okay, Leno, 3 penalties was one of my bads. And that Mitch interception, he said I got away from him. It was still pretty bad. It looked pretty bad. So besides that, all in all,
yeah,
not too bad on the bads, in my opinion. Did you have anything that you wanted to call out?
Yeah, I just thought some of Matt Nagy's clock management was questionable. There was a time at the end of the third quarter when I believe there's like 48 seconds left, and you could have just ran one more play, and you could have. It was like I think it was second down or it was third down. You could have ran one more play. You could have just ran the ball, and you could have took it to the next quarter. Instead, we ended up like. Throwing the ball, then punting the ball, giving them the ball back with time still left on the third quarter. Now, that's not a big deal, but what you're doing is stretching out the game, and you're already up by 30. It's like there was times in the fourth quarter with like 4 minutes left in the fourth quarter, we're still running like 30-yard skinny posts and these type of things. So I just was really kind of like perplexed by some of the play calling and the clock management decisions. I like being aggressive, but I just thought, I was like, what are we doing here? And we were risking a lot more than we were being rewarded. Lastly, in the bad was Fox Television, both their inability or the lack of replays showing a multitude of things. It was terrible. And then the broadcast team I think Chris Myers is pretty good, but I think that Moose is just not good.
Yeah. They also said Mike Nagy. And what were the other ones? It was
Kurt Fuller.
And Trevathan.
And then he corrected himself right after that, but he did another one that was pretty blatantly just like, what?
Yeah,
it's all over Twitter.
Yeah, I mean, I laughed at the Kurt Fuller. He came back and got it. I mean, that's cool. That's one thing is I give mad props for when people call out their mess ups, because sometimes they'll just go and you're just like, I'm not going to talk about that like at all. I don't know. It is what it is. It's not the end of the world, and we all overact. But
just lastly, trying to jump back onto good was number 23. We just mentioned it. Yeah,
for sure.
I thought it was a big game. I thought it was, one of the things that Moose was talking about was like there was so much contact on that play. Well, it was within the 1 yard of the line of scrimmage, and he had that Fox blue line there, and it could clearly show that he was only 1 yard or even within 1 yard of the line of scrimmage. You can make contact even when the ball's in the air. That's what happened. The ball got batted up. Floyd, athletic, caught the ball, right place, right time, and scored. So they didn't really know the rules, and they only get paid for that.
Yeah, and I'm embarrassed because I don't know what the rule is. I don't know if that's a PI and you get 15 from that, or, I mean, it's not a spot foul at the 1 yard, right? So I feel a little bad. So if you pass interfere on that screenplay.
It wasn't bad, though.
But if it were to be, what's the consequence? I'm not sure, is all I'm saying. But in the grand scheme of things, if I get called for pass interference on a screenplay, and we get a pass interference, and they don't catch it, and we have not been tackling screenplays or attacking that guy catching a screenplay, and, we saw it against the Dolphins. I loved seeing the aggressive play. I'd rather knock him on his butt before he catches it and not go for a touchdown. Just, I love the aggressiveness, and I didn't care. If he got thrown a flag, I wouldn't have cared for 1 second. So, yeah, thoughts and any other kind of hot takes? I had a couple. Can we just run the ball just like a little bit more? I don't mind running on a shotgun. I feel like it's very effective with Howard, but just like ace formation, stretch run. We did it a ton last year, and we ran for more yards per carry last year. Can we just do it a little bit more often? And I'm not saying let's be Fox and let's run it every single down, but can we mix that in just a little bit? Because I feel like it's something that we're missing out, and it would really help us out quite a bit. Did you want to jump in on that? I felt like you were trying to piggyback.
No, that's absolutely correct. That's what I just got done saying is Nagy's clock management and that kind of stuff. One thing I think you neglected was you did call out look out for Anthony Miller here, and he had a great game. Probably, I think he has most receptions and his most yards going into that. While we're still in the wide receiver front, number 11, he was a healthy scratch. I guess they just really like Bellamy's ability to run routes, and I guess he's an adequate enough blocker. He does get open, which we all know, but is delivering there. And then I guess the last thing I'll say here, even though you might not have asked me, was they mentioned a stat that number 10 is the only quarterback in the NFL to have 15 touchdowns. and 250 rushing yards. 15 touchdown to 250 rushing yards. Only quarterback in the NFL. So I don't care what anybody says. I think he's a talent, and I'm glad we got him.
Yeah, me too. So the Nagy and running the ball, a 3rd and 1, Howard from the fullback position, and the motion with the Cohen back behind him, kind of at the H back, and they ran and didn't get it. Can we just I don't know. Sometimes I love the trickery. Sometimes I do, but and that's sometimes in those situations, 3rd and 1, let's just do a normal play or do something super tricky, or the in between.
Yeah,
I don't want Howard to run out of fullback.
I thought that was vanilla smash mouth play, and that was Matt Nagy relying on his talent to win that play, and they I like that play call there, to be honest with you.
I don't mind Howard running the ball. I would just like to see him in the backfield, either out of the ace or just not running from the fullback position. That was my only thing. Because it's not like you're seeing a ton of times where Howard's the lead blocker where you're fooling anybody. You know what I mean? Howard isn't lead blocking for Cohen all the time, so it's not like the tricky. I felt like it wasn't there. I feel like we tricked ourselves on that. But that could be a little bit over. I'm super Hooper. All right, that's one thing I want to say. I'm having a very big internal struggle with this team while I'm watching the game, where I can't decide if I want to run the ball more or if I want them to go balls to the wall, full throttle down. At times where I feel like I'm like, oh man, I wish I would have ran there. But I'm going, oh, you know what? When he throws that shovel pass and score a touchdown, I'm not complaining, am I? I'm calling myself out throughout the game all the time, and I don't know how to feel half the time. And then just kind of going off of that too, in the last video we had a comment that Nagy doesn't seem like he wants to run up the score. I think that he's kind of learned his lesson, and that might have been true, but Miami, Green Bay, where you get a little bit of lead and then you get lackadaisical perhaps, or maybe don't go full throttle in the second half. Now, I mean, he made comments after the game on Sunday and Monday about being aggressive and playing 60 aggressive all 4 quarters. So I think he might have changed his tune and his attitude about this anymore. I don't think the coaching staff wants to get caught with their pants down in the second half trying to be vanilla and just trying to get through the game. And I think that we did see that. I think we're seeing some growth. So hopefully we see some growth with the things that you brought up with the situational play calls and clock management too. But I do feel like they learned, and that's great to see. When people keep making the same, everyone says same mistakes over and over is the definition of insanity. I hate that quote, but it's kind of right. You know what I mean? So I don't know how to feel sometimes. So that's just me venting. Sorry for getting that. I need to get off my chest because I feel hypocritical half the time. So I'm going, that would be a great situation to run there. But then when they don't run, I'm kind of going, oh, well, that would have been a nice little situation to do something creative. And I'm like, what? I don't even know. But I am so glad that this is not last year. And there is that creativity there, which is why I'm having this struggle. And I don't know if it's just because, I have this old traditional football in me that I love to smash them off, the Bears, watching the Bears growing up, versus, hey, I always was kind of like, it would be nice if we had a team like the Patriots or the Saints. So we're kind of getting a little bit of a both feel, and we'll see how we feel, I guess. So those were all my final thoughts. What did you have for me, Jeff?
Nothing that deep. Now comes the real meat of the schedule where you're getting into conference and divisional play. So really, we are going to play Detroit 2 times in 11 games. We're going to be playing them on the road at Ford Field, which they did beat the Patriots at, and they will be on short rest. Both the Lions and the Bears will be, as it's a Thanksgiving game. But then they'll have the long break after that. But they are going to be playing Minnesota sandwiched into there, which just got announced as a flex game. So, hey, let's win 2 out of the next 3 at least. And then, you might see, just maybe a little separation. Be nice to see Minnesota lose again. We're seeing Green Bay kind of go back a little bit.
Right.
Never count Green Bay. There's still a lot of time left, but we're in a very favorable position going here. I'm looking forward to the next, the rest of the season, but let's see. Let's win 2 out of 3 here. Let's win 3 out of 3, and then maybe create some space in the division.
Yep. Thanks for bringing all those things up. All things I wanted to mention, and I actually wrote them down on my other sheet, and I didn't see them. So thanks for bringing up a lot of that stuff with the schedule coming up and the flexing and all that stuff. That's why we have you there. There's probably four or five times on here where you brought something up that I totally missed. That's why at Shy Bears Plus, has contributor Jeff at +_Shy. Make sure you're checking out his best bets and following him on Twitter. And this is Robert at Shy Bears Plus. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, subscribe, smack the bell. And the people who've been out there commenting it, man, I love to see the comments, and I get back to you. And you know what? Sometimes you make some good points, and you kind of got me stumped, and you're entitled to your opinion, and I love it, but I do love to see that you're watching and voicing your opinion, because it makes me think. It actually gives me some more good stuff for the show, so we appreciate you. Jeff, anything else you have, and then sign us off, sir.
Nope. Make sure to check out our upcoming Week 10 preview as we host to Detroit Lions. Probably coming your way on Thursday. Jeff's Best Bet sometime at the middle of the week. Let's keep that going. What are we, 27-11 for the season? You love to see it, making you all the money. That was Robert at Shy Bears Plus. I'm Jeff. Follow me on Twitter at +_Shy. That's all she wrote.
Bear down.